Many survivors of the Jewish Holocaust said in interviews that silence never helps those who are being oppressed. It only helps the oppressors. How true this is in the case of now Saint Oscar Romero of El Salvador. For a number of years, Archbishop Romero was a holy priest. He was a good man. He was faithful to prayer. He was faithful to the sacraments, accompany God's people in their walk toward eternity. But in his environment, in his land, there was a lot of injustices. The poor were being oppressed. They were being hurt. They were being killed by the government. And for many, many years, he was simply silent to these injustices until one of his best friends, a priest, was murdered for helping out the poorest of the poor in El Salvador. Whenever his friend was murdered, something ignited a fire within his heart, and he desired to use his priestly voice as a prophetic voice to help out the people in El Salvador, to find justice, to find peace. He began to proclaim the gospel in the face of the unjust government of his time in his land. And because he used his voice to speak up for the poorest of the poor, he himself began to be persecuted. But in the midst of his persecution, he kept his eyes fixed on Jesus Christ crucified. He continued to stand up for those who were being oppressed. And eventually, because he sanctified his land, he himself, like his brother priest, was killed during the holy sacrifice of the Mass. Archbishop Oscar Romero died for the good of his people in the land of El Salvador. He became a saint in that land, and he sanctified that land. We need priests in the Diocese of Baton Rouge who are willing to die for the people of this land, to sanctify this land by the witness of our lives, giving everything for the good of our brothers and sisters. If you think God is calling you to be a priest who can become a saint in this land, then I want to encourage you to reach out to the Office of Vocations so that we can pray with each other and walk with each other in discernment of the priesthood of Jesus Christ for this land and the Diocese of Baton Rouge.